Hello fellow hunters, JBizHunts here, and welcome to your early access preview of the brand new Tor-na-Sheen, the Scotland hunting estate. Huge shout out to the Hunter Network for making this early look possible. Today, we're diving into everything you've been asking about. How does the map look? Which current reserve does it feel similar to? Are the new species actually exciting to hunt? How good are the remastered animals? Is the Benehag shotgun legit the best new shotgun in the game? And of course, what about Great One grinding? Stick around because I've already found some incredible trophies roaming these Scottish Highlands and you don't want to miss them. Alright fellow hunters, grab your gear, let's dive into Tor-na-Sheen. When you first step into Scotland, you spawn down in the Braidshire region, a rugged coastal zone with more forest than you'll find anywhere else on the map. The rainforest biome sits just a little bit further south, which immediately gives this reserve a very different vibe from the classic European feel we're used to. Right away, you unlock your starting outpost, and it's literally a castle. Nothing says, "Welcome to the Highlands of Scotland," like checking your storage locker inside a medieval stone fortress. The moment I saw it, I knew Expansive Worlds was leaning hard into the mythical and whimsical tone Scotland deserves. After stepping outside, I crested a hill to take it all in. The scenery, absolutely stunning. The terrain, the vegetation, the atmosphere, it genuinely looks like what I've always imagined a Scottish map should look like. But I'll be honest, at first I was a little skeptical. The animal roster sounded like New England doing a Hirschfeld in cosplay, and I wasn't seeing much wildlife right away. So I did what an impatient early access YouTuber would do. I hopped on the ATV and unlocked as much of the reserve as possible, and that's when things changed. I started falling in love with the sweeping hills and rolling transitions from lowlands to midlands to highlands. The more I explored, the more I got this strange urge to do something I never do. Run and gun. This reserve is a run and gunner's paradise. Huge sightlines let you spot animals feeding on distant slopes. But there's just enough cover that a careless move will send them bolting. It's fast, it's fluid, and it's flat out fun. In terms of comparisons, looks and biome detail, Sunder Paton level impressive. Animal home range and structure, very Te Awaroa-like. Clear but overlapping territories. How it hunts? Think Revontuli Coast, but better balanced. Where Revontuli is very waterfowl heavy, Tor-na-Sheen gives you just one duck species but tons of small game variety. Hit the lakes for widgeons, the south for pheasants and woodcock, or climb into the Midlands and Highlands for 4 species of grouse. And don't be surprised if you get constantly sidetracked by pine martens, American mink, or badgers skittering around. This place knows how to keep you busy. I wasn't expecting it, but suddenly I was addicted. I might actually be a running gunner now. Can you believe that? My next mission after unlocking the entire map was simple. Track down the 3 newly remastered species, Roe Deer, Wild Hogs, and Red Deer, and get an up-close look at how much they've changed. The first trophy I came across was a max level Roe Deer. They still stick to their usual drink time of 1400 to 1700 and are mostly found around the central regions of the map. Right away I noticed something different. The antlers weren't quite like the past Roe Deer diamonds that I've taken. These looked a little thinner, almost like a small rack diamond, which honestly made me even more curious to get up closer. I crawled in tight, took a moment to admire the new animations and the improved models. Then I steadied the Frost 257 and dropped him with a clean broadside shot. And wow! Expansive Worlds absolutely nailed these remodels. Roe Deer are a base game species that hadn't received any real attention since launch, and they finally look like a proper deer species now. Their faces, snouts, fur, all way more detailed and realistic than ever before. Let's just say, I'm definitely excited to add a few more of these beauties to the lodge, and I can't wait to see what the rares look like. Next up on my hit list was the Wild Boar, and true to their reputation, they're drinking between midnight and 3 a.m. just like every other map they inhabit. But here's the problem. This is my PC account, and I did not splurge for the night vision binoculars. My character is absolutely broke, So I did this the hard way, creeping around in the dark, hoping to bump into a herd at their drink zone. Eventually I spotted a level 4 boar and locked in on him as my target. One clean broadside shot from the Malmer 7mm, and he didn't make it far. And man, the remodels are incredible. Expansive Worlds really outdid themselves with these guys. The snouts, the fur texture, and especially the tusks look so much more realistic and intimidating. With wild boar officially crowned as the next Great One species, it's clear they put some serious love into this redesign. I'm already itching to start the grind. I can't wait to see what the new diamonds look like, what the rare fur variations show up, and hey, maybe we'll finally get to meet the legend himself, Great One Hogzilla. But don't worry, more on the Great Ones later in this video. While I was out doing my new favorite activity, run and gunning through the Highlands, I spotted an absolute unit making his way down a slope toward me. At first I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, but no. There he was, a piebald red stag, my chance to showcase one of the new fur remasters and rares that have been remastered for the Red Deer in one glorious encounter. This is exactly why I'm loving Tòrnisheen. Every hunt feels fresh. You can plan your route, figure out where the animals will travel, and the excitement hits at any moment. I knew that stag and his herd would drop into that little valley ahead before cresting the ridge to my left, so I repositioned and waited. The anticipation was real. I could hear him before I could see him, and then suddenly those massive antlers appeared first over the hill, and then the rest of him followed. Level 8 mythical, white painted head, a walking masterpiece. I steadied my aim with the Malmer 7mm, waited for the broadside, and boom! Another clean hit. He barely made it a few steps. I've always loved piebalds. The patterns are just so unique, but this new Red Deer piebald variation is on a whole nother level. The white head with the rich red body, stunning. Expansive Worlds really brought the heat with this remodel. Honestly, I might have to set up another Red Deer grind just to chase more of these rares. This stag left me in awe. My next priority in early access was tracking down all the new species on the map and getting a feel for how they hunt and how their updated models look. First up, the red grouse. Now, these guys are technically a subspecies of the willow ptarmigan, and at first glance, they kind of resemble the rare red plumage type that you'd see on those birds. So, my first thought was, okay, did they just recycle the ptarmigan model? And wow, I was dead wrong. I spotted a male red grouse that looked noticeably darker than the others, so I decided to sneak up and try something fun, shoot him grounded. Just like you can with the hazel grouse, the black grouse, and the capercaillie. I got within about 50 meters and took the shot. I felt like I hit him, but he wasn't going down fast, so I sent a second round his way. Then I panicked a bit. If I land a third shot, I'm going to ruin the trophy score. I saw his health slowly dropping, so I backed off and let fate take the wheel. Once I got a closer look, wow, this model is gorgeous. The darker red plumage on this particular male looked incredible, and now I'm genuinely excited to hunt for a diamond. One of these would look amazing in the lodge. Honestly, they feel like a completely new species compared to their willow ptarmigan cousins on Reventuli. They're going to make for some awesome future hunts here on Tor-na-Sheen. The next new species I went after was the woodcock, and let me tell you, you'll hear these little guys long before you spot them. The first time I heard the signature meep meep, I genuinely thought I had wandered into a Looney Tunes episode and was suddenly hunting the Roadrunner. Pro tip, fellow hunters, woodcock need to be taken mid-flight just like pheasants and quails, so when I spotted one on the ground, I waited for him to flush, sprinted forward, and dropped him with a quick shot while he was airborne. Their models are honestly really well done. Sure, they're mostly shades of brown and not the flashiest birds on the reserve, but they actually stand out surprisingly well against the bright green and yellow meadows of the Highlands in the southern part of the map. Now, I'm incredibly curious to see what rare woodcock variations look like, because if there's one thing this game always nails, it's surprising us with very cool rare patterns. I can't wait to chase more of these little meep meep missiles around the Tornisheen reserve as I keep exploring this map. Next up is what a lot of people are calling the star of this map, the European badger. I'll be honest, I had some pretty high expectations going into this. They have burrows like the European rabbit, but what makes them stand out is that they actually have feed zones too. So instead of only popping in and out of their tunnels, you can find a whole little troop of these badgers foraging a couple hundred meters away from their home. That's really cool behavior to build hunts around. That said, I was kind of expecting a bit more of interaction from them. I think we were spoiled by beavers on Askey Ridge. Those guys just felt super alive in the world with all that building environmental interaction that they do. But to give credit where it's due, the models look fantastic. The fur, the striping, the overall shape, very well done. And I'm really excited to start chasing some rare fur variations for these guys because I think badgers are going to have some pretty awesome trophy potential. Right now, though, they definitely give off hunting raccoons on Mississippi vibes. Not a bad thing, just not as groundbreaking as players might have hyped themselves up for. But hey, the grind for rares is going to make these little dudes a fan favorite in no time. Next up, and honestly my personal favorite of all the new species, the pine marten. I was beyond excited when I stumbled across a max level while running gunning through the Midlands. I actually had to blink twice to make sure I wasn't seeing things. What makes these guys so much fun on Tor-na-Sheen is how naturally they blend into the chaos of the Highlands. 1 minute you're chasing grouse, capercaillie, roe deer, or sika deer, and then suddenly you spot one of these little weasel-like critters scurrying across the hillside. Instantly you switch into sniper mode with the 22 and try to pick them off before they disappear back into the brush. They're everywhere in the middle zones of the map, and they do a fantastic job breaking up the gameplay loop. Instead of feeling like you're just another bird-heavy reserve, pine martens create a fun bridge between small game and big game hunts. It keeps the action unpredictable in the best way. Their models look amazing, their fur patterns are ridiculously cute, and I was pumped to add this diamond straight into the lodge. These little guys are an absolute win for the map, and I think you would really enjoy hunting them as well, fellow hunters. And finally, the last of the new species, the American mink. These little semi-aquatic nuggets are adorable. The only issue with them is they are literally everywhere. If there's water nearby, chances are a mink isn't far away. They're nocturnal, and in my experience, the best time to hunt them is during their feed hours. Just like the beavers in Askey Ridge, they feed out in the open water, which makes them perfect targets for a sneaky 22 rifle shot from the shore. The issue is that they feed at night only. Pop one, then sit back and wait while the waves conveniently deliver the cute little fur package right to your feet. They're a ton of fun to hunt, but definitely one of the most challenging animals on the map to actually find during the day. When they're not feeding, they're tucked away in the dense grass or brush, basically invisible unless you walk right over them. The models are fantastic, fur detail, animations, the whole deal. Funny enough though, I ran into a bunch of these while I was searching for wild boar during their drink time, so don't be surprised if they become your accidental side quest during your Hogzilla grind. Now, let's talk about the Benehag 12-gauge shotgun, a very welcome addition to any loadout. It does come at a cost though, 12,000 in-game cash if you want to purchase it. The good news, you can unlock it for free by completing the storyline missions. It's only got a 3-round magazine, and I'll be honest, I was hoping for 5. That would have made it a true contender to replace the Cacciatore 12-gauge as a go-to semi-automatic shotgun. That said, the performance is genuinely impressive. It hits hard, the accuracy feels great, and this is coming from a guy who struggles to hit anything with a shotgun. Recoil control is smooth, and the follow-up shots are very quick and precise, exactly what you'd expect from a semi-automatic. The biggest drawback really is that the limited magazine size. When a flock of red grouse explodes into the air and you burn through 3 shells in a heartbeat, you're left staring at the sky wishing you had 1 or 2 more opportunities before the flock escapes. Now, some of you are probably thinking, okay, run and gun map. Remodels are awesome. New species are cool. The reserve looks beautiful. But how's the grinding? Well, honestly, Tòrnisheen is right up there with Te Aroa in my books. You know how Te Aroa has those perfect home ranges and lower zone counts, like 30 to 40 fallow, red deer, and Tòrr? Tòrnisheen gives off that same efficient grind vibe. Red deer grind, head north. Fallow grind, stick to the bottom half. Pheasants, southern regions again. Load up the shotgun. But I know what you're all really waiting for. The new great one. So let's get straight to it. Wild boar are officially the next great one species. And I called this in my 5 bold predictions video. Glad at least one of those things came true. This is the great one that I've been waiting for, and I'm praying we get a full-on Hogzilla roaming the hills. And here's the kicker. On Tor-na-Sheen, wild boar are only found in the southern portion of the map, below the river and the big loch. That makes locating every drink zone so much easier compared to places like Hirschfelden, Quattro, and Medved, where they're scattered across particularly the entire reserve. I feel like everyone is going to be grinding for boar here, including me. But I'll tell you right now, Don't sleep on this map for your next red deer grind, fallow grind, or even pheasant grind. It's built for grinders, and it might become one of the best Great One maps we've ever seen. And that's a wrap on our first full deep dive into Tòrnisheen, Scotland. And this has quickly become one of my favorite reserves. Stunning landscapes, awesome remodels, fun new species, and some seriously exciting Great One potential. But now I want to hear from you. What's the first animal you're hunting when you get your boots on the ground here? Are you joining Team Hogzilla for that Great One grind? Drop your answers in the comments below. I read them all, and if you enjoyed this early access look, hit that like button, subscribe to join the hunting crew, and ring that bell so you don't miss any of the hunts coming your way over the next few days in early access, especially when I officially start the Great One Wild Boar grind. Thanks so much for watching, fellow hunters. I'm JBizHunts, and as always, happy hunting.